What is the Free the Dream workshop? Who is it for? What benefit would you get from attending? What kind of content is even discussed? Should I attend a Free the Dream workshop? I'm going to attempt to answer all of these questions and also let you hear in their own words the experiences and testimony of what took place during a Free the Dream workshop in April 2023. Before I get into the debrief that Stephanie and I did with 3 attendees who came to our April 2023 workshop for Free the Dream, I want to give you a little backstory of Free the Dream. Free the Dream was originally designed as an annual conference. Stephanie and I have a heart and passion for helping people break free from anything that is limiting them from living the life that they feel called to live in this world. Now, it drew in and attracted a lot of people who are online entrepreneurs, self-employed business owners. But one of the things that we recognize is it's not just for those who are on the entrepreneurial path. Once we got into Free the Dream 2018 and started to hear stories of what took place that first weekend we hosted the conference, it was a confirmation of that. There were stories of entrepreneurial business owners who dragged their wife to the conference. That was the air quotes that you may have heard in my voice. But there were wives who felt like their husbands drugged them to this event. It's like, oh, I do not want to sit in a weekend and go to one of your business mindset, personal, professional growth development. I have no interest in this. Only to find that those spouses came alive that weekend. That while they had identified themselves in the role and capacity of life as support of my spouse and their business dreams and goals and aspirations, and I'm the one who cares for the children and do this, and very specific language. I didn't have any aspirations of my own. I didn't have any dreams of my own. I was just living day to day, and that was my experience before Free the Dream. But during Free the Dream conference, everything changed. All of a sudden, I recognize I do have dreams. I've had them in the past, and I forgot all about them. And this event, this message that took place over the days of this conference, opened my eyes to the fact that I've been living by default. I've been living in a hypnotic rhythm. I have been living in many ways numb to the day-to-day monotony that had been my life.
I have followed Cliff's content for a while now, and when I heard that he was going to put on Free the Dream Conference, I really wanted to come. I am leaving today inspired, encouraged to do the things that God has created me to do in this world.
Had a lot of dreams over the years, and this conference has really helped me uncover those. Some of them are deep, and some of them made me cry. Every single day got better and better, and I feel more and more inspired, and I laughed more, and I got more relaxed, and I got more comfortable with the fact that I even have dreams.
It seems like our culture is conditioned to think it's completely normal to feel overwhelmed, exhausted, stressed, and depressed almost all of the time. It's not only accepted, but it's almost expected of us.
Couldn't have come at a better time, because I have a lot of limiting beliefs that Cliff's talks have helped me kind of work through, and realize that I can be as successful as my brain will allow me to be. And Free the Dream has allowed me to kind of break down some of those barriers that I didn't even realize I had.
just been so encouraging to be in a environment where other people have been experiencing the same exact thing, and it's been such a relief.
The way that we relate to the stuff of our life is actually what starts to create our intentions and our motivations.
I know already what I need to do when it comes to marketing, but there's other things that were stopping me from actually executing on that and building the business that I wanted to online. So what I've gotten from this event is how I can reprogram how I think to take the actions that I desire and I want.
Why don't we have that abundant life? An abundance of money will not cure a poverty of soul.
So if you have a dream, that's there for a reason. It's on the inside of you. You need to come to Free the Dream 2019 and just have that pulled out of you. And if you already know what it is, it's just going to help it grow and multiply.
What's amazing was the fact that many of these attendees from Free the Dream 2018 came to Free the Dream 2019, the conference, and by that time, several dreams had been realized. And so Stephanie and I felt like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is amazing. We love what we are doing with this Free the Dream message. Then, of course, in 2020, there was the pandemic, and it shut everything down, live events for several years. And we were not able to host this. Now, the interesting thing, though, is what we experienced with Free the Dream 2018 and Free the Dream 2019, which ended up being, both of those were 3-day stage events, meaning that it was a production. There was myself, who personally delivered 7 talks over 3 days, Stephanie, who delivered 1 talk during the conference, and then we had many other speakers, mentors in my life, peers who have inspiring stories and messages to share that were impactful. But it was pretty much from morning till evening. We just had nonstop inspiration, insight, pouring out energy, mind-altering, life-transforming messages from the stage. And it was powerful. It was not profitable, but it was powerful. And when I say not profitable, it was not profitable for myself or Stephanie. We did not necessarily make an overall profit either year. Financially, it was profitable in every other way, life-altering, life-changing in every other way. People came from all over the world, multiple different countries. It was amazing, but we recognized that even before we finished the final day of Free the Dream 2019, Stephanie and I had decided that we were not going to continue Free the Dream as an annual conference. We had already determined that the best position for this moving forward would instead be a Free the Dream workshop weekend. We already knew that there needed to be a shift and a change in the format. And yes, profitability certainly had something to do with it. But more than that, we recognized that, okay, if this thing grows larger and larger and larger, it will have the same impact for introducing people to these concepts, introducing people to these messages. And yes, lives had been transformed both years. It was impactful. Even those who attended both years still came away and got tons of new stuff, even though all of my 7 base messages were exactly the same. It was somewhat nuanced. Yet the one thing that did not happen, that we knew that we desired to have happen, was to check in with the audience as we're going through the material. How is this landing for you? How does this relate to something you are experiencing in your life? Is there anything that's been shared here that just doesn't make sense with what you've got going on. Tell us more about what you've got going. These were not opportunities that we had available to us as a stage conference where everything is on a schedule, a tight timed schedule from morning till evening. And also, Free the Dream Conference. We didn't think a lot about this beforehand, but one of the things Stephanie and I knew is that we definitely wanted this to be an opportunity to deepen the relationship that we have in person, face to face, with people who have followed us in many cases for years or decades. We genuinely wanted to put faces to names and build real relationships. We had 87 people who I think attended Free the Dream 2018, and I had a list of every registered attendee, and my daughter McKenna walked with me the entire 3 days of the event, and she checked off the names of each person that I spoke to at the conference. And I made a commitment to myself. I will have at least a 10 to 15 minute conversation with every registered attendee at this event. And I pulled that off at Free the Dream 2018. And then Free the Dream 2019, we had 117 attendees. And it went from 10 to 15 minute conversation to 5 to 10 minute conversation with every attendee. And I did pull that off. But what I recognized is that the level of depth and the establishment and or deepening of relationship from me with each individual was lessening. And I did not think about that when I thought about the original idea of Free the Dream's going to grow each year, and we'll have 300 attendees, and eventually we'll move to 1,000 attendees. And while there were parts of the vision of growing it into a large event, annual, tons of people coming, filling the seats, I never really thought about the fact that it's going to be less and less personal relationship and the ability to speak directly from my soul to another soul of an attendee, having that deep, rich, organic, real, authentic, genuine connection. And seeing the trajectory of how as the attendees, the number of attendees was growing each year. And I noticed that there were people who could use a little bit more time of instead of going on to the next concept, the next message, to actually get a little bit of feedback on some of the things where they feel like, how does this apply to what I've got going on? I've got questions. And I was able to answer that in 10 to 15 minute conversations in the first year, 5 to 10 minute conversations. And I was able to bring some of that into future sessions. But it became clear something has to change. And also, I did like the idea. There was this authentic, transparent part of me that will tell you when we thought about, hey, instead of committing to a $65,000 production expense, what if instead we market the workshop, we find the number of attendees who are coming, and then we look at the amount of income that came from ticket prices. And then what we do is we take the amount of income that's come in and we will use that to determine the level of production value that goes into the whole thing. Maybe there'll be an event where we're not hosting lunches and dinners in person, and instead send people out to lunch for me, or send people out for meals for lunch and dinner. Maybe we're not going to have a 3-camera video production crew. Maybe I'll just wear a lapel mic for each of the sessions that are being taught, and they'll be audio recorded, and we'll provide the audio recordings and transcripts afterwards. Those kind of things. So we had already made this decision. We were going to go to a workshop format. Well, when the pandemic hit, that shut down all live events. And it kind of got me out of the idea that this was our future. Maybe I've seen a lot of people. I witnessed a lot of people in my space, in my peers, whose incomes were so heavily tied to live events. And then I saw what happened financially to them and their businesses. I'm like, maybe live events isn't quite what I want to do. And I was waiting. It's like, are we truly back, or is there going to be a next thing? And so I just went all in on a different direction. I went back to one-on-one coaching. I went back to my paid mastermind groups, and I kind of just pushed off the idea of hosting any live events off to the side. Well, eventually, the live event and the Free the Dream workshop idea started to stir again. And in April of 2023, we brought it from a thought and turned it into reality. We did it in a very short time frame. I went to the location, the Hebron branch of the Boone County Public Library System, just a couple miles down the road from our house, and we reserved a space. We put a little landing page to let people know what was going on. We had 6 weeks to market it. And it turned out that 3 paid attendees came. It was less than what I had anticipated, but still, in my mind, if we had 10 or 15, that would be a really good turnout. And turns out 3 was an incredibly awesome turnout, and you're going to hear that in just a moment. But it certainly opened my eyes to the fact that, yes, workshops for the Free the Dream message is exactly the right way to go. So we reserved that space. We had 6 weeks to promote it. I sat down with Stephanie and we were working out what sessions are we going to bring from the conference so I can put the outlines for all of that into a workbook, and then what additional things would I want to include that wasn't a part of the actual conference. We started to put in materials, and I want to share with you what was in the workshop for the Free the Dream workshop in April 2023. The very first session, all beliefs have consequences. What you believe will determine what you achieve. That was a core message from Free the Dream. It's a part of the Free the Dream course as well. Brand new session, The 5 Agreements, a transformative roadmap to personal freedom and self-discovery. And this is based upon the books The 4 Agreements and The 5th Agreement by Don Miguel Ruiz. Absolutely essential understanding of how to be able to walk through life and be your authentic self and break free from the fear of other people's perceptions and judgment of who you are and what you do. It's an incredibly powerful session. Session 3, Why We Do What We Do, the 6 Human Needs. This is directly from the Free the Dream materials, and it's in the Free the Dream course. Session 4, Creating Change That Lasts. How to establish new behavioral patterns that become lifetime habits. Again, that's the essential core Free the Dream message. It was at the Free the Dream conference. It's in the course. By the way, the course is available at freethedreamcourse.com. 3 vital decisions. These are the decisions that determine the quality of your life. If your quality of life is not what you want it to be, it's because the decisions you are making to these 3 vital areas. Once you learn this, you can't unsee it, and you will find that you are responsible for your quality of life. So 3 vital decisions. That's from the Free the Dream conference and course. Values and rules exercise, session number 6. This is brand new material to the workshop. It is an exercise that I've shared with countless numbers of my one-on-one clients and my mastermind groups. It's something that I learned from the Date with Destiny experience with Tony Robbins. I paid, I think, $5,500 for the Date with Destiny experience. This one exercise, session number 6 from the workshop, is worth the $5,500. We did bring in session 7, the 50 Things I Want exercise. That's also from the conference and the course. Let's see, session 8, Everything is Energy, Law of Attraction. This is brand new to the workshop. It was not a part of Free the Dream before, but it became very clear that a lot of people have either not ever been truly introduced to what the law of attraction actually is and what it states, and or if they've heard about it, there's a lot of either misconceptions or a lot of people who have told people you should avoid it at all costs and don't even investigate it. And if you come to Free the Dream Workshop, you'll want to come at least with an open mind, not with any kind of requirement that you believe anything about it that you didn't believe before, but at least hear it from some folks who have some stories to share, and maybe even hear some responses to the most common misconceptions of the law of attraction. So that's a brand new session to the workshop. Session number 9, Map of Consciousness. Discover how your level of consciousness determines the quality of your life. This is yet again a second session which will help you completely, radically alter your quality of life. When you understand the map of consciousness, you will begin to see that you can be responsible for how you experience this life, just like the 3 vital decisions. Session number 10, the science of meditation. Now, as I am recording the introduction to this, I am recording the introduction on Monday, August 11th, 2025. And as of today, this morning was my 1,265th consecutive day of meditation. And if I look at my Insight timer, I have done 61,000 minutes of meditation for a total of, a total of 1,009 hours and 16 minutes of meditation. I have experienced 10 or 15 different types of meditation that I routinely use. I share in here what I've learned about meditation. I talk about brainwave states. There are scientific studies that show that all of this is accurate, can be studied, reproduced, and it doesn't matter what your faith background is. Everyone can find a form of meditation that will work for them. And meditation could be as simple as sitting down and focusing on your breath. Meditation could be as simple as reciting a memorized prayer. Meditation can be a lot of different things. But what shocks me is the number of people who do not have a daily practice of any form of meditation. And it's one of the reasons our nervous system is so stressed out all the time. It's an incredibly powerful session. Session number 11 comes from the Free the Dream conference and course, How to Achieve Any Goal. It's a proven step-by-step formula. Session 12 comes from the conference and the course, Upgrade Your Peer Group, talking about the power of mastermind groups. Session number 13 is from the conference and the course, and it is a workshop session for you to simply answer a bunch of questions about any goal that you have, and you'll walk away from this experience knowing exactly what to go do next. So these are what's included in the workshop, and also there will be mastermind opportunities. Now, depending on the number of people who are attending the workshop will determine how many people can have a mastermind hot seat and or how long those hot seats will be. But one thing I can tell you is even if we did have a sold out workshop of 50 people and we only did 2 or 3 or 4 hot seats and we had volunteers who did those hot seats, you will almost always get as much, if not maybe sometimes even more, from someone else's hot seat than you would actually get from your own. We will also include that in our workshops as well. So that should give you an understanding now of what is Free the Dream. Free the Dream at its core is not for entrepreneurs, although entrepreneurs eat this stuff up. I mean, it really fuels their fire. But this is not for entrepreneurs only. This is for anyone who has something that they feel like there's something more their soul wants to express into the world. There's some level of being in the world of fulfillment that seems to be lacking. There's something about life that just isn't matching up with what you feel it ought to be. You may not have used the language as there's some sort of dream inside of me that is not quite becoming reality. Some people call these goals that I have, but I've not been able to attain. Some people think about this as there's this old pattern and behavior, and I just can't figure out why I'm stuck doing the same thing over and over again. It really is for anyone who has anything in their life that you desire to experience, but yet it's not a part of your life today. That we're calling the dream inside of you. This workshop is especially for anyone who doesn't even know what that is. I don't even know what goals I have. I don't even have any dreams. That is exactly why this message, this Free the Dream message, it's why we created this. We created it for those who know what their dreams are, but still haven't quite figured out how to turn them into reality. And we have determined that most people have stopped dreaming. They've been conditioned to just be okay with your lot in life. And life is about suffering, and it's about your ability to just survive it. And that is not our well, maybe I don't want to say what your dream, what your mission, what you want to do, what your soul wants to express in the world. And I say that because I am aware of a few people who actually do derive meaning through the process of overcoming certain things. And when we get into the 6 human needs, there's a very real reason why they're getting their needs met through that. But this is not to judge whatever your dream is. It is a message that is helping you understand, what do I truly want? Why do I want it? Why is it even important? And how can I make it possible? And what is that next step? And how can I live my life in such a way that if what I want seemingly might be judged by others? What if other people don't agree with the things that I want to pursue? How do I handle situations like that? You might have tons of questions. That's why we are doing this as a workshop instead of a conference, because there will be ample amount of time for questions. So in April of 2023, Stephanie and I put all this together. We did it within a 6-week period of time, and we had 3 people who attended that workshop. I can't begin to go into all of the details why we had not yet done another Free the Dream workshop right after that. And it's now August of 2025 until we're actually bringing it back. Although I can say this, and I'm talking about my wife and Stephanie, what we have experienced in our own personal, professional, and spiritual journeys from April of 2023 through August of 2025 has been absolutely necessary to bring us to where we are today. And where we are today, it is an absolute no-brainer that it was for such a time as this to bring it back. And so with that, I want to let you know our next workshop is coming up on August 29th and 30th here in 2025. There are currently, as I record this, 3 people registered. And there's a very real possibility that it will be myself, Stephanie, and those 3 individuals. But there are 2.5 weeks until this workshop is coming up. I believe that it probably will be a few more, and it might be you. And I do want to say this. I would encourage you to not delay. Go to freethedreamworkshop.com and register for this one if you're listening to this in August and you can make it. If it's possible and any part of you is calling, don't miss this opportunity. But I will also say that it is my intention there will be many more of these Free the Dream workshops. I am committed to finding a way to make this something that I get to do far more frequently. And I'm excited for this opportunity. So no matter when you are hearing this message, go to freethedreamworkshop.com and register for the next workshop that you can attend. All right. Now, I am going to share with you a conversation that Stephanie and I had with 3 individuals who attended the April 2023 workshop. This was an impromptu recording. We had just wrapped up our final day, and what you're going to hear in their own voices is the level of transformation that they experienced. I want you to hear one person who said that he knows for a fact he's going to 10x his business as a result of just one insight alone. You're going to hear somebody who you will hear the tears breaking out in his voice. You will hear somebody who was within just 3 to 5 minutes, who had broken a long cycle of guilt and shame and transitioned into willingness and courage and has done incredible things. I've been following all 3 of these individuals since 2023, and they all will point back to this experience. And so you're going to hear from their own voices the experience that's awaiting you at Free the Dream Workshop. Register today, freethedreamworkshop.com. Stephanie and I are not alone. We just wrapped up the final day of Free the Dream Workshop, and seated to my right is my friend, Stephen Faust. Stephen, how are you?
Cliff, my friend, I'm awesome, and I'm getting better every day myself.
I love that.
I can't complain. I'm loving it. I love what we did. Can't wait to talk about it.
Sweet. And then to my left is Daniel Whitworth. Daniel, how are you?
I am doing excellent now, thanks to the Free the Dream conference.
Workshop.
Workshop. I guess there's a difference. Yeah.
There's definitely a difference. And then Deacon Hayes is seated right between Stephanie and Daniel. Deacon Hayes, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks, Cliff.
Awesome. What I'd love to do is just take a little brief moment of introduction of who each of you are and why did you decide to come to this event. So, Deacon Hayes, tell us a little bit about you and why did you come to Free the Dream Workshop?
Yeah, so I'm a blogger and I've had a site called Well Kept Wallet, and my mission has been to transform lives through personal finance education. And I felt like my business has changed drastically over the past year and really kind of needed to figure out some new ways of approaching my business so that I can reach more people and help more people and feel invigorated about what I'm doing. And so that's kind of what brought me here.
Are you willing to share some of the things that have been going on with your business that kind of caused you to say, man, I'd really like to get some help around some mindset stuff?
Sure. So over the past year, the traffic, which is how we get in front of people, has been decreasing every month. And so with that, the revenue's been decreasing. And then me questioning, is what I'm doing not working anymore? And is there something wrong with me or my approach? And I need to figure that out. And so that was one of the huge driving factors.
Awesome. Daniel, tell us a little bit about yourself and why did you decide to come to the workshop?
So my wife, Nicole, and I run an online business tutoring nursing students around the country. And we also have 6 kids that we homeschool, ages 3 to 13. We've been doing the online business for a couple years now, and the thing is it's mostly her business. She's the nurse, I'm more the tech support, even though we do pretty much equally work on it together. But over the transition from working full-time outside the home to being a full stay-at-home dad to working online business really kind of was almost an identity crisis for me. And I was really looking for what's my thing? What am I supposed to do? And I just wasn't getting much clarity on that on my own, and I started coaching with Cliff a few months ago, and just when this opportunity came up, I thought this is what I need to be a part of, and it has not disappointed.
Stephen, what about you? Tell us a little bit about you, what you've got going on, and why did you decide to come to Free the Dream workshop?
Yeah, I run several different online businesses. I serve Army NCOs, so guys in the Army, enlisted guys who want to get promoted faster, who are working for Army leaders who may not be, let's just say, not have their best interests in mind. I help them get unstuck, get promoted faster, get support, leadership, things like that when their boss won't or can't give it to them. And for me, mindset's always a challenge. Mindset's not a destination, it's a journey. And it's something that you are getting better at or getting worse at. You're figuring out how to overcome these challenges more independently or with help, but you're always in this process of figuring it out. And one thing I know about myself is I have a lot of mindset blocks, and I help other people at times get unstuck, but I need help getting unstuck too. And you've always been there for me, Cliff, to help me get unstuck with that. So when I saw the opportunity to pivot, now I went to Free the Dream in 2019, and one of the things I knew is that was a great conference. I got to meet great people, and this event's been no different. A couple of great guys here I've met. I already knew Daniel, but meeting Deacon has been amazing and what he's doing. And like in so many other walks of life, you run into people at these types of events that you find you have a lot in common with, right? SEO, things that I'm struggling with, things that I've been asking you questions about. It's been really helpful to me. But coming here and getting ongoing help and support with mindset, learning new strategies, tips, tactics, ways of thinking, ways to help myself get unstuck as opposed to always having to get it from someone else, has been really refreshing and revealing to me. So it's been a big eye-opening experience for me, knowing, and I already know you. So just to continue to get my eyes open to new ways of thinking has been fantastic and transformational.
So both Deacon and Daniel actually experienced the Free the Dream message through the Free the Dream online course content recently, like not too long ago. Both of them within about the past 6 months. And for those that don't know this, Free the Dream has always had an online course version, but until about a year ago, that was like 27 messages over the course of 2 different years of the conference. You basically log in and boom, you have access to every single talk from every speaker from both years. And that could be overwhelming, except for the fact that it's like, okay, here's the 6 core messages that I taught from 2018. Start here, watch these, and if you watch anything else, it's bonus. So there were plenty of people who purchased that course and watched those 6 videos and watched some of the others. Stephen Faust, by the way, encouraged me, Cliff, when are you going to actually start marketing that Free the Dream online course? It's like, well, it's way too much content. I need to decide which videos people need to see. And I liked some of the videos from 2018 more than I did from 2019 and vice versa. And I just need to, he goes, when are you going to do that, Cliff?
Exactly. Pick the best ones. Pick the best from 2018, the best from, every band has a best of CD, right?
That's right.
So you've got the best of Free the Dream. And to have your message that those 200 plus people got to witness live and in person in 2018 and 2019, to have that message in a vault, not shared with the world, I think is doing a big disservice to everyone in the world who could come into contact and connect with those messages. And I just was thrilled to see you listen to me. Yep. You know, because I've been listening to you all these years, Cliff. Yeah. And I'm glad that that became a reality, and it just warms my heart to know that that's out there in the world now.
Yeah, so I took his advice. I went into Kajabi and just duplicated that whole thing, and I deleted all but the main core messages. And then I actually chose which ones were the best from each of the years. And then I recorded a brand new closing session. So now it's 8 videos. And from beginning to end, it's like, wow, okay, this meets my standard of what I'm willing to market to the world. And I put it out, and it sold many copies. People have done it. People are going through it. Matter of fact, there are 2 people racing through right now. They don't even know each other, but they're like neck to neck. Each of them just finished session 3 today, earlier. Cool. So, which is really fun. What I'd like to do is ask Deacon this question. So, Deacon, you most recently went through this about a month ago or so. The 8 sessions of the Free the Dream course, by the way, freethedreamcourse.com, if anybody's interested. You went through Free the Dream course. What was your experience with that material? And then what was it like for you to come here to the Free the Dream workshop?
Yeah, so what was interesting is I had heard you had a podcast, or you promoted something that was like an hour long about how to achieve any goal. And I think that was part of the Free to Dream workshop. And it really captivated me. I was working at the time, and I was like, I need to stop what I was doing and listen to this, right? And that led me to take the course. And then when I got in there, I felt like it was more than that. It was more of like, well, what do you want in life, right? Like it's one thing to want to achieve a goal, but you're like, are you actually going after the right goal? And so you had this exercise where you're like, write down 50 things that you want. And I did not realize how difficult that would be. I got to like 33 and I was stuck. And then I just waited for a while. And then Cliff reached out and he's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, oh, I've worked on it, but I got stuck. And I was like, I'll get back to it. So then I got to 50 and it kind of got me out of this block. And then I kept going. What it made me realize is that I think a lot of the things that I deal with as an entrepreneur are internal struggles, and it helped me break free of some of those internal struggles that I was dealing with so that I could push forward and get to the place that I need to be, which is come up with a game plan that I believe in, that I can get behind, and that I could actually achieve, and that's going to add value to people in my audience and even more people that will come to hear about it. So I found that content to be super unlocking, if you will, right? And then coming here, it was even a deeper sense of that, right? Of like, what's really holding me back, and letting go of that, right? So that I would be free to dream.
Daniel, I'm going to post the same question to you. For you, it's probably closer to about 6 or so months ago.
Yeah.
You and Nicole went away for a weekend,
Yeah.
and because they have 6 children, by the way. so
Homeschooled.
Homeschooled.
Yeah.
He said that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you guys went away for a weekend, reserved a hotel room, and went through Free the Dream course. What was that experience like for you? And then I would love for you to answer the same question as a follow-up. What was this workshop like for you after going through the course?
So yeah, we originally, Cliff had done a workshop, like a 1-hour thing inside the Flip Lifestyle community, and my wife had watched it, and then she signed up for the course, and we planned that weekend where we got a hotel room, and we just powered through it over the course of a couple of days and doing all the work in between. And it was just powerful, like kind of like Deacon said, like I'd never really thought about thinking about what do I actually want, and that I could actually think about what I actually want. And especially the concept of the beliefs and how you can change what you believe, that a belief is just a thought that you feel certain is true, and that you can actually adjust those. And by doing so, you can get rid of those limiting beliefs that are not true. And so that was super powerful. Got through, likewise, the trying to come up with 50 things that I want, that was really difficult. Went through all the things. And then after that, we ended up, Cliff did a Black Friday thing where Nicole and I got into his one-on-one coaching. And then I've stuck with it. I committed to the year. It's been phenomenal for me. And so when he offered this Free the Dream workshop, I definitely wanted to go. And as it neared the end, I was able to go. And for me, I'm kind of in a spot where, like I said at the beginning, where I'm trying to figure out who I am and like what I'm supposed to do in life. And I felt so many blocks about it. So coming here to this workshop, I think it was perfect. Just like Cliff says, I was like, this was perfect that there was only the 3 of us, and I would even say 4 of us, because Stephanie was just as involved, that we all had more time getting our questions answered, getting our own stuff worked through. We had a lot of dialogue, a lot of conversation. It wasn't just presentation that we absorb and take notes and fill in things. And so I felt like I got way more out of it in this format than I probably would have in a conference setting. And so I'm so thankful that I got to be one of the handful of people here this weekend.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys, how would you describe what happened Stephen, how would you describe what took place over these 3 days?
One thing I'd say is, having gone to the conference and then being at this workshop experience, some of the same messages, similar messages, concepts and all were involved, but there was a whole new set of information and conversation and learning about each other and learning how to apply these things that was not in the conference. And there's something different. Now, the Free the Dream online course is great, but there's something different that happens when you are at an in-person event like this.
Oh, yeah.
Right? This in-person experience, being able to sit, especially in a small group, there were 5 of us total, to sit at a couple of tables facing each other, being able to make eye contact, to intimately discuss mindset, intimately discuss the concepts that are the core messages of Free the Dream, plus ways that you've introduced into the workshop, Cliff, that really allows us to see inside of ourselves, and kind of after we leave the workshop, to be able to always know where we are on this mindset scale or spectrum, right? And to know when we're maybe out of rhythm and the things and strategies we can put in place to get into rhythm or into the zone. And I found that really powerful, but not just learning what that is and how to apply it, but sitting in kind of this close-knit circle, looking at each other, talking about the different ways that it impacted us, learning from each other, talking about our experiences and some of the experiences and some of the transformations. And I got to say, today was phenomenal. Yeah. I'll just say this. We did a 90-minute hot seat, and the last 15 or 20 minutes of my hot seat, I received from Cliff specifically one insight that will 10x my business. Absolutely, no doubt about it. Price of admission, give me the stamp on the hand, I'm good. That was worth everything. That was even better than the milkshake. The milkshake was really good now, right, Stephanie. So I don't want to discount that, but it's things like that. It's those unexpected things that being in a mastermind, put on steroids now, being in a mastermind at a table, looking at each other, and being able to read body language and see the impact of that. It was mind-blowing to me. And that's why I wanted to come to this first experience, because having been in other programs, when you're the first person in, you get to be part of how this is evolved and kind of at the beginning. And there's usually fewer people in the first one. And I wanted to be into that experience. But the things that I've learned and the things that I think we've learned together, all of us, and the things I think, Cliff, that you're going to take away and go, you know what, that was unexpected and powerful. I'm going to incorporate that in my next workshop. But because we were able to do that, I think there's so much, what was already super great can now have this new content folded in a way that can serve even better. I think it's going to be so much more powerful for the next Free the Dream workshop group that comes in. And to me, it's mind-blowing, because one insight's going to change my life and the course of my online business. And that, to me, I'm excited about.
Stephanie, how would you describe what happened over the last 3 days?
The one word that just keeps coming in my mind, so I'm going to share it, is magical. When you take 5 people who are so vastly different, come from different places in the country, come from different backgrounds, and you can put them in a room and they just get each other, that's magic.
Yeah.
And you can't force it. It was just magical.
Deacon, how would you describe what happened over the last 3 days?
Well, what I'd say is, before I came, I probably was anxious and like, okay, is this going to be worth it? I've never done anything like it. I mostly go to conferences, and I will say that my mind has been blown, and that, even today, when I was in my hot seat, I was one person, and when I got out of the hot seat, I was a different person, right? There was definitely this transformation of fear, shame, guilt to, wow, I have courage and willingness and acceptance of where I am and where I want to go. And that part of me, I've I've kind of moved forward from and feel in a much better place because of it. So for that, I'm very thankful.
Awesome. It's awesome.
Daniel, what about you? How would you describe what took place over these 3 days?
I think for me that my dream has been freed. That I came into it just so feeling stuck, just like wanting some direction, wanting some hope, wanting some excitement in my heart again to like do something. And you gave us tools and you gave us insight to like Stephen mentioned, like see inside of ourselves and see why am I stuck? Why am I not getting progress? Why can't I progress? And I felt like the transformation happened. Like you know, day one it was a lot of learning, and I went to sleep early because I was exhausted just from all the brain work. And then day two was phenomenal because we really got into the crazy deep stuff then.
The crazy deep
and,
stuff.
I mean, it's mind-blowing stuff, seriously, mind-blowing stuff, but it's also empowering. That's the thing. It's not just like really cool information, like it's empowering. It enables me to change like how I'm feeling and how I'm interacting with the world. And by the end of it, to be honest, during Stephen's notes, it was like I was hitting all kinds of ideas for my own. I was just like writing furiously.
Ain't it powerful? Other people's hot seats?
Yeah. They really
where you get like so much.
My
it's
own,
crazy.
I was just like, it was good. I'm glad it's recorded. I sent it to my wife, but then we got through deacons, and that was crazy powerful to watch. And then when Stephen's going, I know Stephen so well. I was, I was half listening to him, to be honest.
You were translating for me,
but it was just like because so many like ideas were just flooding through my brain. It's like for the first time, and I don't know how long, I actually was feeling that again.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like that's I came into this feeling so stuck. Like I can't come up with ideas. I can't come up with content or a direction or what I'm going to do. But by the end of this workshop, I was just like, I was just like, there was this flooding through my mind, and I'm walking away from here feeling an excitement I haven't felt, and I don't even know how to tell you how long, Cliff. And so I am so thankful that I was able to come here, that I decided to come here, and I look forward to what's going to come next.
Wow. Thank you. One thing that the crazy deep stuff.
Crazy deep
the
stuff.
crazy deep stuff. The one thing that I want to share in this episode is to say that I was curious about the content that was added to Free the Dream workshop that wasn't in Free the Dream course or conference. To put it lightly, a little bit of metaphysical woo-woo.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And those who listen to the Train with Cliff audio journal have at least some level of understanding of what I've been up to in my journey over the last 3.5 years. And I felt so compelled. It's like there's no way I can't share at least these concepts. And quite frankly, when I put them in, I'm like, listen, I have no intention whatsoever to go into the spiritual depths of these concepts. No intention whatsoever. I happen to know Daniel enough. I know enough about Deacon. I know enough about Stephen. It's like I just don't see that going into a deep spiritual conversation that's just not on the table for me. And at the same time, I'm like, but I'm going to at least make sure that you know what the law of attraction is, what the concepts are, and what people do believe about it. And then evaluate for yourself. At least you're, instead of having a, I heard that's from The Secret, and boy, I've been told to stay away from that, or isn't that where you just think about a Ferrari and it shows up in your driveway the next day? There's a lot of misconceptions about this thing called the law of attraction, and while I'm a firm believer in it, I just wanted to at least share. It's like, hey, here's what this thing is, here's what it says, and here's a lot of my experience with it. And maybe as I'm telling you these stories, you might start to see, it's like, maybe there is something to this, maybe there's not. And again, whether you walk away from this workshop or not, my intention was at least you know what the concept is. Yeah. Another thing, what?
You just said whether you walk away from this workshop or not, as if they're not leaving.
Whether you walk away from this workshop wanting to investigate it further or not is not important. But at least it's like knowing that what people need is to free the dreams inside of them.
Yeah.
Knowing what I believe about this, I can't not share this tool, this resource, this insight, this information. Then the map of consciousness, not so controversial in and of itself of understanding levels of consciousness and emotional states. The source of it and how it came about and who Dr. David Hawkins is could be a little out there and a little woo-woo. And there are concepts on the peripheral of this that are deeply spiritual. But my thinking is that I'm just going to talk about emotional states. Do you see how this could be a better way of feeling than this? And do you see how if you are up here, you're actually going to be more likely to have creative ideas than if you're down here where you don't have access to your creative process? And then I was like, okay, well, I'm also going to teach what I know about meditation. And not that I want to talk to turn each of these guys into Zen Buddhists, which I'm not even a Zen Buddhist myself, but I do want to, it's like, you know what, meditation is something that is so radically life-altering in my experience of life that I at least want to teach what I've learned about meditation. Whether it's a tool for you or not, I'd love for you guys to know about it. And so to say all of that, I put all of this stuff in there. I'm putting together all of this stuff, copying and pasting all of my notes into this workbook. And then I'm like, how is this going to go over? And I'm committed. I am not going to go into the spiritual depths of anything. We're going to stay personal, professional development, blah, blah, blah.
Unless
that didn't happen.
Unless you get a question about your spiritual.
And then
and then everybody take a knee. We're going into it. We're getting into it. Let's go.
So here's the interesting thing. I don't doubt for a second. I can't imagine that any of you are convinced to believe all of the things that Cliff says that he now believes. And that's not even essential. It's not important. No, you don't need you to address that here. But I just want to ask you, what do you think authentically about the fact that it went so deeply spiritual? Anybody want to speak to that?
Yeah. I'll start. So for me, anytime I go to a conference or a workshop, I always go in with an open mind. Because if you don't go into an open mind, why are you even attending? Because you're trying to get transformation on concepts and new things you don't know, and in this case, mindset, strategies, and ways to think. And if you don't have an open mind, then you're not going to get value. So I always come with an open mind. And I'm always, even if I don't have a certain belief or not, regardless, I'm always interested in what others believe and think. Right? So I remain open-minded to stuff. And your material was phenomenal because without some of that content, there wouldn't have been some dots connected for me, right? Especially, what did you call it? What was the
map of
consciousness? Mm-hmm. To me, I told you earlier today, I said, to me, that is the one most valuable piece of real estate that we were given this weekend. Page 30, we all know it's page 36 of the workbook, right? Because we went there 100 times, it seems like. And I'm going to have that at home. I'm going to have that on my desk. I'm going to always be thinking about where am I right now and where do I need to be operating, because that's going to be key to me. I would not have known that.
And he gave us tools to actually go places.
I absolutely would not have known that. Mm-hmm. So to me, I'm really open-minded to all things, all concepts, all ways of thinking, and then I will take out of that what I feel is good for me. And to me, I don't think this workshop would have been what it ended up being had you not included that content. It just wouldn't have been. Absolutely. And you've got to come with an open mind.
Yeah. I would say that I'm very grateful that you included that. It's definitely... It's big in the mind. It's a lot of concepts to cover, and we were all curious. Like, we were asking, so you didn't intend to go into the spiritual, but we demanded it, right?
Of course we did.
We had questions we wanted to know, opened cans of worms, you drew them on the board. It was awesome. Definitely the map of consciousness. And the tools, it all makes so much sense in a very personal and practical way, but life experience way. like Stephen was saying, like especially like learning the seat of awareness and the map of consciousness and the different levels of your brain waves and meditation and all that stuff. Like I want to try it out. I want to get to that place where the ideas start coming and the answers start coming, because so far I haven't been able to experience that another way. And so definitely so glad you included that, and so glad that it got so deep that it, you know, as it did. So.
I pulled Daniel to the side this morning and I said, Daniel, did he say seed of awareness or seat of awareness? Because my notes say seed, and I could make a case where they both could make sense. And so he corrected me. I didn't want to ask that yesterday. But another thing I just want to give Cliff a lot of credit on is at no time did you, Cliff, try to insinuate that should be our belief.
No, he never persuaded.
He was extremely repetitive of like, look, this is, you know, what I believe. I'm not suggesting at all you should believe any of this.
Yeah.
Right. And you were really good about that. I never felt like
not even hints that you were trying to persuade.
But within your discussion of things, there were so many obvious takeaways that were mindset related. I don't care what your background is or what you believe in, that are really pertinent to the mindset journey, regardless. So that was important.
Yeah.
Deacon, what do you think about the fact that it went so deeply spiritual?
Well, I thought it was incredible. Two of the things that were on my list of 50 things that I want were peace and joy. Mm-hmm. And when we talked about the map of consciousness and realizing that was a state of mind that I could choose, and then realized that where I was living most of the time is in this fear or anger or guilt and shame or whatever it might be, and I'm like, well, if I address those areas of my life, I can quickly go from I'm anxious or I'm ashamed to I'm actually courageous and willing. And I saw that happen in my hot seat within like 2 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it was, right? So that was extremely powerful. In a conference, I don't think I would have ever had that experience, right? And I think that there is more to us than meets the eye, and I think that's important to discuss those things and explore those things and figure out how they could actually help us better achieve our goals in life.
I think what was I just want to add is like, it wasn't just learning about it. Like I think we all experienced it. Like we experienced the change in the levels of consciousness. We experienced the beta and the theta and all this stuff. And like, it wasn't just talking. It wasn't just information. It wasn't just ideas. It was like we experienced it. We felt it. And by the end of the workshop, like, I don't know, for all of us, we're like coming alive, you know? We're vibrating a lot right now, Cliff.
I'm at like 30 hertz right now.
You have to edit that out. Is that cool or what?
That is Stephanie,
vibrating a lot.
I'm buzzing.
Stephanie, inside of the library here, about 2 months ago, we were sitting down and deciding what sessions we would pull from the conference, what we would fill the other blank spots with. What do you think about the fact of how deeply spiritual it went?
Well, I think it's like Daniel said, they demanded it. Like, in no way were you pushing your beliefs on everyone or on anyone.
Not at all.
And it came in a very organic way. Mm-hmm. It worked because it was a small group of us. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you were putting them on the list, I was like, do those really, like, that's not Free the Dream. That's not what we agreed. I'm using air quotes. That's not what we have said that Free the Dream is. But someone said, it was Deacon or Daniel, I don't remember which one said that they go hand in hand. You almost can't get one without the other.
How could you not put that in?
Right. So then now it's, how can it not be in there? And it's not that you have to become, the ultimate fan of the book The Secret, or that you have to follow and believe everything that Dr. David Hawkins teaches. Mm-hmm. It's not that you have to come away believing any of these things or changing your beliefs. You just have to be open to learning and experiencing something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what I will say is, moving forward, I'm super excited about this experience. Lots more, way more of these events are going to happen than I had originally planned. I'm happy to do this with 8 to 10 people. It doesn't matter to me. I just know that this is what I want to do. Whatever depth you want to experience, if you were to come to a Free the Dream workshop, we will have what's meant for us to have together, and I'm excited about it. And I want to encourage you, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you go to freethedreamworkshop.com. And you know what? It could be Stephanie, myself, and you. Or it could be myself, Stephanie, and Stuart, and Steven. Steven might come back.
Might come back, yeah.
And I hope that you'll come to Free the Dream Workshop at some point, or come back multiple times. Anytime you just want to come back and experience this, whatever it was that we experienced over these days. I appreciate you all so much.
Absolutely.
Mindset Answer Man.
That was pretty good.
I don't have anything else to add other than what you just heard. I just wanted to remind you, no matter what year you're listening to this, go to freethedreamworkshop.com and see if there is still a date and time for a next workshop for you. And if there is, register for the next one you could possibly attend. Register for a Free the Dream workshop at freethedreamworkshop.com. And if there's not one, email me, cliff@cliffravenscraft.com, and say, Cliff, where can I get a Free the Dream workshop experience? And that, again, if it's like 2035, 10 years from now, we'll figure it out, and we'll see what can happen. But that's it. I hope to see you soon.
I came into this feeling so stuck, like I can't come up with ideas. I can't come up with content or a direction or what I'm going to do. But by the end of this workshop, I was just like, I was just like, there was this flooding through my mind, and I'm walking away from here feeling an excitement I haven't felt, and I don't even know how to tell you how long, Cliff. And so I am so thankful that I was able to come here, that I decided to come here, and I look forward to what's going to come next.